Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR 25 career mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we take on the penultimate race of the regular season where we are headed to Richmond Raceway here as well. The situation for us to make the playoffs as a Cup Series rookie has become simple. We must win to get in, and we are coming off of some promising races, including, of course, Watkins Glen, where we were just able to pick up a top 10, our third top 10 of the season, and the first one that was not on a super speedway. So that was pretty nice to kind of get that one out of the way. You see me in the background there. I'm in my new place here. Just moved in actually with my girlfriend, and yeah, how about that backdrop? Got some die-cast back there, and yeah, that's going to be the new backdrop here for the future. So we still got Bofa, so shout out to Bofa over there in the corner. But yeah, going to be seeing that for the long term. And as I'm recording this right now, I have no internet connection, of course, moving. And if you're in Canada and you have Rogers as an internet service provider, they aren't that great. So I'm waiting for them to hopefully fix this up here, and I'm recording this on Monday. They said it's they're sending someone out on Tuesday to hopefully fix it, so let's hope that this video will go out on Tuesday. So my apologies for the lack of videos in the last couple of days, but there's a good reason for it now. There's not a good reason for this, me sliding the rear end out. I was really struggling for grip here in practice, and I was dead last here at the bottom of the leaderboard now as Christopher Bell tops the leaderboard in practice over Ryan Blaney and William Byron, Hamlin, and Larson as well. So as we come through into qualifying now in this Grillo's Pickles number 85 Toyota Camry, still really just quite simply trying to click off more top 25 runs, top 25 qualifying efforts as well, and we got 2 laps here in qualifying in Richmond. So I mean, yeah, if we screw up this first lap, we get a second opportunity at it, but my first lap felt pretty competitive, and as I crossed the line, it was a 23.158, so we got another 23 seconds to find some more improvement here now as we roll through 1 and off of turn 2, heading down the back straightaway, and I could tell immediately that grip was going to be a problem here this weekend in Richmond. The car is really loose on the exit of these corners as we're going to throttle up off of turn 4, hard on the gas, to the line. Is there improvement? No, just barely slower, so we stick with a 23.156, putting us in P22 here from Richmond. Christopher Bell tops the board again over Blaney again. He'll be on pole position now, but for us, at least we weren't at the bottom of the leaderboard. We were P22, so yeah, I mean, a little bit more promising now as we can get ready to go racing here from Richmond Raceway. So as we get ready to go, under the lights, by the way, tonight in Richmond as well, and if the game was, you know, more realistic, I would expect that number 3 car of Austin Dillon to be pretty competitive, but obviously not expecting to see him anywhere near the front. The Richmond King, it seems like, of the last few years now, as the sun is setting and just 2 races remain in this regular season now. It's Richmond tonight, and then we head to the Daytona regular season finale next episode there, where that's obviously the race that we have circled. We know that, I mean, unless something absolutely crazy happens, we're not going to be winning tonight. It's Daytona where that opportunity is going to rise. Here we go. Green flag is out. We're racing here from Richmond Raceway. Christopher Bell, Ryan Blaney lead the field to the green flag now, and a bit of a slow start for myself here on down into turn number 1. We'll get down into that 3rd gear now. You're using 3 different gears here in Richmond every single lap. You know, you get up to 4th gear down this back straightaway, then you go back down into 3rd, and then on the front straightaway you go up to 4th, and then eventually you get to 5th just before entering turn 1, and then of course you're going back down to 3rd gear. So a lot of shifting here in Richmond compared to some other tracks now as we head down into turn 1, completing lap 1. Daniel Suarez in that Quaker State Chevrolet going forward for that number 99 Trackhouse car now is only 17 laps of racing here in stage number 1, meaning no pit stops necessary. Stage 2 and stage 3, however, we will need some pit stops to be able to make it to the end of both of those stages now. But for myself, I mean, the goal for the sponsor, of course, top 25, hold on, we got problems. Around goes Austin Dillon. Caution is out early on here in Richmond. Only just a few laps into this race. Everybody will stay out and we'll get ready to go back racing. But the Richmond King, well, the king of hitting the wall here today in Richmond. So an early caution. Yeah, I mean, really kind of not what I wanted to see, because I was hoping for, honestly, green flag racing all the way through this opening stage, because as we get back going, my concern was the grip, and I wanted to get a good feel for how this car reacts as the laps go on. And when you get a caution that early, you see we burn through some more laps. I just hooked right there off into turn number 1 and made a mistake there and left the door wide open. Big slide out of turn 2 for Allmendinger to get up my inside. Now as we will get cleared by him, we'll jump back in line here behind that number 16. So really concerned about the lack of grip on the exit of the corners. Obviously just trying to mitigate that with just very patient on the throttle on the exit. It's just, yeah, it's pretty rough. So I was, as you can see right here, sliding around a little bit more. So I'm thinking about adjustments to be making at the conclusion of this stage. What do I want to do? Obviously we know where we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to tighten up this car, and I think we're gonna have to tighten it up quite a bit. There's only maybe 1 or 2 tracks on this entire schedule where you're tightening the car instead of loosening the car, and it's Richmond, and we'll probably be doing it, I imagine, at New Hampshire as well later in the season when we get to the playoffs here in just a couple of races time. It is away now, so yeah, I mean, not used to driving a car that's so loose. I personally, you know, prefer a car that kind of leans towards the side of loose, but when it's, you know, as loose as it is here in Richmond, it's an uncomfortable loose. Basically there's a difference between fast loose and an uncomfortable loose, and that's where we're at right now. So some changes are necessary, but what was boosting my confidence was the fact that even while we're struggling with grip and really not happy with this car, I'm still running at least 25th where the sponsor goal is. Now, if this was something we were dealing with earlier in the season, we'd probably be running last place right now. So that shows you the gains we have made as a team here as we're coming up on the end of stage 1. Zane Smith just in front of myself now as we are really working on passing this number 8 of Kyle Busch here, but he is not making it easy in that Cheddar's Chevrolet. So we continue to work on him, and what I was finding here is just because of the lack of grip, that passing on the inside was getting really challenging, because to complete a pass on the exit of the corner, you really need to throttle up, but I can't do that. So unfortunately for me, with 2 to go on the stage, Kyle Busch actually gets back to my inside here. So we're going to continue to scrap this one out now as we exit turn 2 up the racetrack, allowing that Cheddar's Chevrolet to get clear on the run into turn 3. Christopher Bell just started the final lap here of stage 1 now as we're going to roll right again to the back of Kyle Busch, but he can just get on the throttle. I cannot do what these other guys are doing right now, where they're just pushing that pedal down and going. I cannot do that, or I'm going to spin out. So a little bit frustrating, some work to be done, but we're about to get an opportunity to do exactly that. Christopher Bell exits turn 4 down the front straightaway. He'll win stage number 1, looking very strong early on, and 10th place will cross the line, putting us in P25 here in this opening stage. So obviously some work, like I said, needed to be done, and we're going to come in and get 4 tires and as well as some fuel right here. As for the adjustments, I mean, we're right at a 51.0 on the wedge. We're going to go to a 52.0 and see if that makes a difference. I was considering messing around with some tire pressures, but I was going to hold off on that for now and just see if the wedge would be enough to get us, you know, in a better position here as the sun has fallen and stage 2 is underway here from Richmond. Green flag is back out. We're racing now as the number 8 of Kyle Busch is able to jump right up there in front of us. Completely breaks the rules, by the way. The AI, just anybody, of course, in NASCAR, you're not allowed to change lanes on a restart before the start-finish line. Clearly they don't care about that here in NASCAR 25 as we're right to the back of the 38 of Zane Smith now, and stuck on this outside. We're going to go 3 wide through the middle. Gregson left his teammate Smith to the right now, but a contact actually with that 38 Suarez now back to my inside. We're going to get right to the back of that number 4 into turn 1 now, and we're kind of beating it towards the back of the 41. That's, of course, Haas factory of Team Ford Mustang there of Cole Custer, and we're still going to be 3 wide into turn 3. Behind us, the 3 wide as well. Here comes Shane Van Gisbergen trying to go follow me, basically, through the middle. I kind of used up Cole Custer right there, and it does allow me to clear him, but now Ty Dillon's to my inside. Now, keep in mind, you look at the top left, we got 40 laps in stage 2, over double the amount of laps that we had in that first and opening stage. So we got some time here to really get a feel for this Grillo's Pickles number 85 Tricon Toyota Camry. So we're just going to take our time, but obviously really want to be in that top 25. Just it's more of a peace of mind knowing we're in that top 25 ahead of the sponsor goal, and we do that actually here through 1 and 2, passing both Dylan and McDowell. Move ourselves back into P25 here so we can kind of settle in and try to learn a bit more about this car. Were the adjustments helpful in the early part of this run, which when I say early, we're only 5 laps into this run. The wedge adjustment to go up did feel pretty decent here, and I was thinking, okay, we're going in the right direction, but the question is, how far do we want to take this wedge? How much higher do we want to put it up? Because I can confirm right now, I mean, I was still getting loose. It wasn't like that, you know, going up to 52.0 had completely fixed the issue. No, it was still loose, and you can see it right here. I mean, you can kind of visually see it. You can feel it a lot more in the wheel, obviously, than you can see it, but the car, it's really trying to slide around on the exit of these corners, and it was certainly becoming still something in the back of my mind of like, okay, how far do we want to go on our next adjustment, or do we want to keep it where we are at right now? Because still here on lap 10, it still feels pretty good as Daniel Suarez goes around right off my nose. That's going to bring out a yellow here in stage number 2. Looks like we're all staying out, so we're just going to stick with the rest of the pack here, and we'll get ready to go green for a restart there. That 99 went right around off my nose, not off my front bumper, fortunately. There, I would never spin one of my favorite drivers. So as we get ready, though, for this now restart, I mean, we'll be on the inside line, so that's a nice benefit here, as well as the 20 of Bell continues to lead over William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, and Joey Logano, your top 5 as well. Carson Hocevar, as we go green, has been running very well today. He's up there in P6. I kind of hit the rev limiter right there, and that completely killed my restart. Daniel Suarez, who just crashes, is right here alongside me, trying to pass me. By the way, I hope in NASCAR 26, the cars that bring out the cautions like go to the back of the field instead of like sometimes a car will crash, you'll pass them as the caution's coming out, and then that car starts like 2 rows ahead of you still, and it's like what? But nonetheless, as we head down into turn 1, now in the top 23, right behind the Joe Gibbs 54 of Ty Gibbs, who's in the same situation that I'm in right now. If you want to be in the playoffs, you need to win, and it's going to be much easier said than done, of course, now as Christopher Bell continues to control the pace now, but Gibbs going forward now is past the number 1 of Chastain, another driver who has to win his way into the playoffs. And as of the way things are going right now, Bubba Wallace, of course, and Alex Bowman, they are the 2 bubble drivers. Wallace, the last one in on points. Bowman, the first one out, but he's like 50 points out. So the likelihood is Alex Bowman will be leaving tonight, going into Daytona in a must-win scenario, and Bubba Wallace, all he needs to do is have no new winner in Daytona, and he'll make the playoffs, the last driver in on points. We have had multiple surprise winners now, as we had a big slide right there at a turn 4 now as we're battling this number 60 RFK Ford of Ryan Priest there, just kind of getting the nose up the inside as we exit turn 2, with the handling starting to go away on this car about halfway through the stage, and you can see me kind of gliding up the track, sliding on a turn 2, and that allows Austin Dillon to pass me now into turn 3. We'll get down in front of the Rick Ware 01 of Corey LaJoie. So now as we head down into lap 23 at this point, the tires continuing to wear out on the right sides as well, and definitely getting a little bit concerned with the lack of grip as these laps kind of continue to count on. And as well, you're seeing we don't have enough fuel to get to the end of the stage. We're going to get to about 5 laps to go, 4 laps to go in the stage, which is a bit concerning. And I started realizing something. Look behind me. See that Wendy's blue 91 of Elio Castroneves? Yeah, he was the lone driver that pitted on that last caution. Now, obviously, the game, we didn't have any way of knowing. But the way I knew was the fact that he was running in the bottom 5 and all of a sudden had a lot of pace. It's because he's got fresher tires than us, as we are going to go for a big slide of turn 4. Big save as well. But my goodness, we are hanging on for our life at this point now. And I'm trying to just hang on, because if a caution comes out, we're going to be in good shape. But the problem now is, as we continue to slide around, the 91 can make it to the end of the stage, and the other 39 cars cannot. So what's going to happen here is drivers, including myself, are going to get trapped a lap down. The problem is Castroneves, he really isn't that fast overall. So I already know that some of the front runners will unlap themselves even after pitting and going to the end of stage 2, meaning that a wave around might not be an option for myself. So we're going to have to hope for the best. We'll wait and see what happens. But obviously, we just kind of have to roll with the flow here as we were continuing to at least hang on to 24th now with 10 laps to go. Tire light warning has come on, and now here we go. Justin Haley and others are coming into the pit, so everybody is about to be trickling into the pit lane right here as I am just hanging on for dear life at this point now, as we are going to go one more time around hoping for a caution, but it doesn't seem like that yellow flag unfortunately is going to be coming out. So as we now hit lap 34, Joey Logano is about to come in from the lead now. Christopher Bell, of course, has made his pit stop as I have to let Chase Elliott go right there. But we have to come into the pit lane. We got no other choice now. So we'll come in, we'll get 4 tires as the team is recommending. And it's going to end up being like a 16-second stop, 15.6. So we'll get back on the racetrack and now, I mean, just hope for the best right here. So Helio Castroneves is leading this race. He's the only one that hasn't pitted because he pitted under the last yellow. He will make it to the end of the stage, and that's where I wish that we had a scroll option in the leaderboard during caution so we can see who is and who isn't pitting. It's a bit of contact right there with the 47 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. will pass him into turn 1, same as Gregson, who was just exiting the pit. Now we're P25, but as we come to the final lap, you see Castroneves leading down the back straightaway. I mean, we are not terribly far behind him to unlap ourselves, but obviously that's still not going to happen. And as Castroneves exits turn 4, he's going to win stage 2 here for Project 91. How about it? But obviously it's at the detriment of us. We cross the line, P25, a lap down. So now we have to gamble. We have to wonder. So we know Castroneves is pitting, but we don't know if the guys that got on the lead lap are pitting or not. Now, no one a lap down is pitting. So I decided to stay out and just hope that there's a chance that all the lead lap cars are pitting and we're going to get the wave around. Unfortunately, we are not that lucky.
Be ready.
It looks like everybody that was on the lead lap outside of the 91 decided to not pit, which usually, I feel like usually at the end of these stages, just about everybody comes into the pit lane. Not what happened here, so now we are stuck 1 lap down. Now, there's a positive, there's a negative. The negative is, well, we're a lap down and we're going to have to go up there and we're going to have to try and race for the free pass against some really fast cars. The positive is we can still make it into the top 25, so we can at least salvage something out of this. But, I mean, to be completely honest, I think we are, you know, a 21st to 25th place car, to be completely real here tonight, and I just don't see it improving. We're just struggling so much for the grip levels in this number 85 now as Gregson's to my inside. We got just over 40 laps to go at this point here from Richmond Raceway. Christopher Bell lost a bunch of track position after the pit cycle and going into the end of stage 2 and starting stage 3. So Joey Logano is now out front over Tyler Reddick. Now as I make a big lunge into turn 1 there, but a contact with the 71 to Michael McDowell. Not what we were aiming for there, but fortunately that doesn't turn into anything. More contact there. Things are starting to get a little bit on that physical side here from Richmond now as we're to the inside of Josh Berry. This has been a pretty calm race for the most part here. I mean, we've of course had the crash with Austin Dillon and Daniel Suarez now, as you can see some 3-wide action up there in front of us. Logano continues to lead as we now are continuing to pass now. You know, Gregson up into P24, Carson Hocevar, he's actually one of the drivers that got trapped a lap down, and as I overshoot turn 1, he's going to go 3-wide up the inside, so that's going to drop us back down a few spots. It's so easy to make that mistake right there, just overshoot the corner just a little bit and you get yourself in trouble. But then Hocevar jumps back up the racetrack, so now we're going to be to his inside. Bit of contact there with the 77 Spire Chevrolet now, and I'm curious how we got back here because he has been running top 10 all race long, so I'm really confused how he's gotten himself into the position that he's in. Right now, though, we are only 1 spot out of the free pass. We've driven up to 22nd. The problem being Michael McDowell, who is the free pass, he's got some cars in between himself and I think he's just downright faster right now. So I don't think there's much hope for me to go run after him and get a free pass position. But I am trying. I am driving a little bit over my head even as we're going to exit turn 4. And well, we've wrecked ourselves off the nose of the 21 of Josh Berry, just using him up. Caution's going to fly. Oh, that's embarrassing. This is turning into a really frustrating final half of a race here in Richmond now. We're going to pit. We're going to get tires. We're going to get fuel. And we were second in line for the free pass, trying to run down Michael McDowell, and I completely choked it away. And now we're going to be dropping some track position with the repairs, putting us down to P28 behind the 42 of John Hunter Nemechek at this point now. Cindric on his outside, so we'll get ready to go back racing. But now the problem is we've given up all that track position. Denny Hamlin, by the way, out in front, but now we got to go and pass a bunch of cars here to get back into a free pass spot, which is now P22. So Michael McDowell gets the free pass. He's back on the lead lap, and the first thing I do is just kind of overcook it into turn 1. At this point, I think it's pretty obvious to tell that I'm driving a little bit frustrated, and I really was getting annoyed with how this race was going, and it was mainly because of the freeness of the car. And I would love for you guys to let me know down below, is this an issue you've been having in the Cup car as well at Richmond, where the car is just so loose? It's not really an issue in like trucks or Xfinity, but here in Cup it is just a completely different animal. Hocevar now to my inside, crash with Keselowski into the outside while I slam into the back of the 3 while getting on the brakes, and now we've done more damage to the car. Caution's out. If we wouldn't have wrecked ourselves, maybe we would have been in position to benefit off that. And now I'm like, well, screw it. Let's just try to get ourselves an advantage. I pit again for 4 tires at this point, and now we're going to be starting dead last in P40, but we're going to have an overwhelming tire advantage here that hopefully, just hopefully, we can pounce on as we'll get back racing. At this point, I felt almost like defeated with how this race was going. It was just like everything that could go against us was going against us, and now we've got 23 laps to go in this race. So I mean, even if we get the free pass, it's going to be less than 20 laps to go no matter what. So you'd be restarting right where Ty Gibbs is right now, who just got the free pass. You have to start at the tail end of the longest line. Therefore, I mean, you know, even as Gibbs takes off right now, I don't think he's going to have enough time to run down any of those guys up front. Now, with caution, of course, would bring him right back up to those lead lap cars as he would leapfrog all the lap down cars. But nonetheless, we're going to do what we can here and just hope for the best. And let's just try to salvage that top, 25 result at this point. Now, honestly, pitting there was a bit risky because what if we get stuck in traffic? What if we don't work our way back into the top 25? It was a risk that I was willing to take there, as Zane Smith's going to kind of crowd me down to the inside. I don't think he was ready for that move there, that lunge up the inside. But we get through nonetheless now behind Dylan and Van Gisbergen as Hamlin continues to lead. If Hamlin wins today, that'll be career win number 60 to his career. Could he pull it off here at a track, of course, that is in his home state, and on top of that, a track that he has been very successful at as well, as we are continuing to now claw our way forward as these laps continue to wind down. At this point, we're 3 wide into turn one with 18 laps to go. Bit of contact there with LaJoy as we exit turn 2. We'll clear him and get right alongside this 10 of Ty Dillon immediately now with 18 laps to go. So as we continue to work forward in these closing laps, now at this point as we're passing the 42, we're up to P28, just 3 more spots we need to be in the top 25, and I was feeling confident at this point that the free pass was not going to happen. We weren't going to be in position to get the free pass now, we could still get a caution, of course, but it's not going to be easy as we're now passing the 43 of Eric Jones, and now we just got to get 2 more cars. Cole Custer right here, and then as well Todd Gilliland up there in that number 34 now as Denny Hamlin continues to lead. We have seen time and time again, Hamlin starts some of these races not as the fastest car, but if you give Denny Hamlin the lead of these races, he's pretty good at just kind of holding on at that point. So I feel like it's going to be very difficult for anybody to beat the FedEx. Wow, we're going for a throwback there. Progressive Number 11 Toyota Camry there of Denny Hamlin now as we work on passing Todd Gilliland for P25. There we go, clear of the Love's travel stop Ford Mustang for Front Row Motorsports now, and we're going to run down Carson Hocevar here for P24. Cinder going to be the next one up in line, but he's quite a ways down the track as we're going to lunge up the inside of the 77 here into turn 1. He's going to crowd us down. I said, I'm done with you. I attempt to turn him, and he saves it. Are you kidding me? Carson Hocevar, you know what? I'll give him credit. That was an absolutely incredible save. He cut across my nose, and I was at a point where I didn't care anymore. I said, you know what? I'm turning you because you just turned across my nose. That's on you at that point. So I tried to finish the job, and I mean, we can't even do that right tonight. So, I mean, at this point, I was just like, okay, let's just get this thing over with. But I was still trying to run down that 2 of Austin and Cinder, just trying to get there, but obviously it just doesn't look like it's going to happen in these closing 10 laps. Now as we're to the inside of Castroneves, I kind of wanted to wreck Castroneves at this point because I'm like, you're the reason that we're trapped a lap down to begin with, but we got to keep a level head. We got to remember where we're at, and that's in the top 25, which is exceeding the sponsor goal by only 1 position. But as long as we're beating it, we've had so many inconsistencies, and every time you finish outside of the top 25 or whatever the sponsor goal is, it basically resets the timer for getting a new sponsor. You got to beat that goal so many times to get an offer for a new sponsor, but obviously if you finish below that goal just 1 time, it's basically a reset. So as we come through though to the final lap of this race, Denny Hamlin, he's going to do it. From the looks of it, as we're really struggling right there off of turn 4, but 59 career wins for Denny Hamlin, but that's going to be 59 no more as he works his way through turn 3 and off of turn 4. Denny Hamlin victorious in Richmond, 60 wins to his NASCAR Cup Series career. Historic moment there for the driver still seeking his first championship in NASCAR Cup Series history. As we exit turn 4, it's going to be P24, not at all even close to what we were looking for. A bit of a step back from what we've done recently, but I don't think it was because of the lack of pace here tonight. It was quite simply because of the lack of grip. We just could not put the throttle down, and it was a struggle that we dealt with all race long. So frustrating, but yeah, I mean, even then, we still, finished top 25 at least. Now, as we'll take a look at the standings, and we made $112,000 profit there for the team as well. And when we look at, of course, the standings to finish today, Bubba Wallace, by the way, we are still P25, but Bubba Wallace obviously did not really lose too much to Alex Bowman. It's a 50-point gap. So Bowman and everybody else is going to have to win basically now. So Wallace, his task is simple, hoping for no new winner in the Daytona regular season finale. In my case, we're hoping to be that new winner in Daytona. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you as usual for the support. We're going to give it everything in that Daytona regular season finale to be a rookie in the playoffs. I'll see you guys then. Thank you for watching and have a great day.